So a couple of weeks ago, I got this leg extension slash leg curl machine from Body Solid, and today I'm going to talk about what I do like and what I don't like. Now, the first thing that I like, that I noticed pretty much right away, was the build. It's kind of like a heavy machine. I could still, I guess not when there's no weight on it. I picked it up when I moved it, but there's a way to pick it up. There it is. Okay, but it's, as you can tell, it's pretty heavy. It's a solid machine. And the second thing I noticed that I really like is the height. I don't know if you guys have ever had one of those benches where you can put a leg extension slash leg curl machine on there, but when I had one of those, I would have to take my shoes off just because they were so low, but you really don't have to with this, and I'll show you that right now. Getting into the machine, relatively easy. One of the weird things I noticed, I don't think this is a flaw, it's probably supposed to be this way for some reason, but this seat can move. Like it can go up and down. I don't know if you can hear that or see that, but it can move. And then setting up for the machine, just go in here, and then you start doing your leg extensions like this. It feels pretty solid. And one of the nice things I didn't know, but I realized once I started using it, is that you can adjust this for the leg curls, for the lying leg curls. I'll show you that in a second. And you can also adjust this part right here for the leg extension. So maybe if you're a little taller, you're a little shorter, that's okay. I guess if you're a little taller, you can't go, oh, there it is. So you go a little lower there, and it's kind of difficult to do with one hand, but you can lower this up and down. Hopefully you guys can see that. There's a little like pull pin right here, lets you raise and lower this part of the machine right here. So I thought that was pretty cool. It's a nice touch there. So adjust it to however you want to use it. Another thing I really like is the material that they used for, I don't know if this is like leather or what sort of material this is, but it feels like a quality material. I really like that about this. I don't know if I've ever seen a material like this, but I like it. Material on this could be better. I guess that's one of the cons about this machine for me. One of the improvements that could be made is maybe making this like material like this. It's like one of those foam ones. I haven't gotten heavy enough to where I don't like it and it feels uncomfortable. But yeah, I think that's one of the things that this could be improved on. Now this is, I think, an older model. They have a new one, and I can double check if they've got that improvement on the newer ones. So I'm on Body Solid's website and I'm looking at the newer version of this, and it looks like they did improve the padding on here. It looks like a leather type of material. It looks like a similar material to this. Now another thing I really liked, and it's kind of weird, but this is long. Like there's gonna be a lot of plates that can fit on this. I don't know what the max weight for this is, but it's probably gonna be a lot heavier than I can lift. And so for some reason that thing is super long. You're gonna fit all the plates you want. And so I thought that was a nice touch to it. This is like a metal type of material. It's not like one of those plastic sleeves, at least it doesn't feel like it. And it's got a little stopper right here in the bottom so you don't slam your plates into this. So that was nice. This is a removable piece. That's actually how I was able to pick it up, I guess, when I put it in here. So this got a couple of nuts on both sides, and you just take those off. It's got a little plastic cover here that covers the nut and the bolt that's sticking out. That is a nice touch, just so you don't worry about maybe catching the sharper edges of the metal when you're doing leg extensions or leg curls. The one I have right now only has this one on this side. I'm sure it comes with two, but I don't know, maybe the guy I bought it from lost it. I'll tell you how much I paid for this machine. I think it was a pretty good deal. I'll talk about that in a second. Now we're gonna talk about the adjustments that I like. It's got 3 adjustments for the seated position. So you've got this adjustment right here. You pull this little pin right here. That's another adjustment. Pull it again. That's the 3rd adjustment for, I'm assuming this is for the leg extensions. And then for the leg curls, you've got 2 adjustments. You've got this one where it looks like it's all flat. And then you've got one more where you're kind of slanted. You're kind of like at a decline. And so I'll show you an example of the leg curls right now. I usually use this one right here. I don't know what the difference is between this and being all flat, but let me show you guys something that I thought was interesting. It doesn't bother me. I just thought it was interesting. Maybe I've gotten tightened some bolts or something, but I don't know if you guys saw, but this like moves up and down slightly. And so I'll just show you right here. If you push it down, it's not a big deal, but it kind of caught me off guard the first few times because it goes down a little bit. And then when you do the leg extensions, it'll go the other way. But yep, setting up here. Hopefully I don't make a bunch of noise with the mic this time. And oh, my legs are so sore. I did legs 2 days ago and I'm so sore. I probably should stop talking when I'm facing this way, but here are a couple examples of the leg curls with no weight. One of the awkward parts is like getting off because I don't want to be doing this too much. It's probably not going to hurt it at all. And I usually don't care. Sometimes I just get up like that. But when I think about it, I try to like not be on the material. I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's a pretty solid machine. Again, I'll list the dimensions in the video, but this thing takes up a significant amount of space. It is pretty wide. I'll put the dimensions in the video. Another thing I really like about this machine is that it's got handles. It's just nice to be able to grip onto something especially when you're doing those like high reps, when you're at the higher reps and you start getting tired and you want to just rep the thing out. It's nice to be able to like hold on to something when you do that. Now, one of the things I don't like, and it's not really this machine's fault, it's just kind of the design of the machine, and that is this center thing right here. I haven't had a big issue with it, but my brother said his legs scrape up against this when he does leg extensions. But that is one of the things that I don't care for about this machine. Like this one's a seated leg extension, but you got to lie down for the leg curls. And they've got one where you sit for both. And that one has the little pad coming up to the side. So you don't have to worry about this thing being in your way. Again, I haven't had too much of an issue with it. It just barely touches me. Doesn't really scrape me. But maybe somebody that's got significantly bigger legs than me would have a problem with this. Again, that's just the design of the machine. It's not really this particular machine in general. It's just the way it is. Now, I haven't been in a cable version of these in a while, like the ones you see at the gym where it's got the selectorized pin and it's got a cable that's got like a smooth feel to it the whole way. I haven't been in one of those in years, but this feels pretty good. It does feel heavier at the top, as is the case with a lot of these type of machines they've got free weights and not the cable. Surprisingly, it helps with my squat. When I do these as the first few sets, what's up, Otis? One of the nice benefits of this that I've already noticed, and I've only had this for 2 weeks, is that it helps me with my squat. And that is one of the things I forgot, and I'm so glad I have this machine now, because even though it's not the cable machine like I really wanted, and even though it's not the seated leg curl like I really wanted, it's still really nice to have this machine. So one of the things I did to get closer to the cable machine feeling is I bought a few bands from Amazon. I got 2 sets of these. They were about $10 each. No, they were about $13 each, but what I did is I just attached one side. I attached one of them to here, and I'll probably just cut to it where I get it done. And then I run this through the bottom, and then I lift this guy up. I forgot how I lift this up. I lift this guy up, make sure I pass the legs, and I leave it a little bit to the side just because I want to reduce the rubbing as much as I can. There's no like sharp edges, but I don't know how much the rubbing is going to affect this over time. And this is how I had it originally. I just bought one set of the bands and I did it like this. But then I started getting worried about maybe it being sort of targeting one side board just because it's on one side. I don't know if that's the case, so I just ordered 2 and I'm going to put it on both sides, and I just wrap it around this post here. One of the things that would be really cool if this machine made it like easier to do that, it's not a big deal, like because of this stopper it's got on here, the weights don't touch it, but it'd be cool if it had something like, no, if it had something sticking out, we'd probably hit it with our legs. I don't know how they would do it, but it would be cool if they made it easier to do this, to add these cables. This one's more awkward than the other side. So now I've got the bands on there, and even with no weight, I could get a pretty good burn with this after a few reps, I'm sure. Yeah, I would need to put a lot of weight on there. There are different bands that you can use, of course. Like these are, I think, 30 to 60 pound bands or something. And yeah, I'm already starting to feel a little burn on this. Leg day's tomorrow, so I'm gonna chill. Going back to these rollers, they've got a nice little chrome end cap here. I've never really noticed them, honestly, until now, but they're pretty nice looking. I haven't had any issues with these coming off. They're pretty thick, looks nice. Now that I'm down here, talk about these plastic covers. One of the things I like about them is that they come to the bottom, and so this metal part isn't sitting directly on the floor. That is nice because it's the same situation in the back, and that's what helps this band be down here. If it was sitting directly on the floor, then I don't know if I would be able to do this because I'd have the machine on the band, and so I'm glad this extends and covers the bottom a little bit. That might even help protect some people's floors. I've got stall mats, so it doesn't really affect me. So before I got this machine, it was not really on my radar. I kind of wanted a leg extension leg curl machine, but you know, I had my barbell and I've got a functional trainer, so I was able to make do with that. But now that I have this, I'm glad. And I'm not gonna lie, this was not my first choice. I wanted the seated leg curl and not the lying leg curl like this one has. But this is a solid machine, and you're not gonna believe how much I got it for. Take a guess in the comments. How much do you think I paid for this machine? If you said $200, you are correct. I got it for $200. The guy was asking $250, and I asked if he'd take $200. I would go pick it up that same day. He said yes, and so now this baby is mine. Originally, I thought I was gonna keep this until I saw a seated leg curl version of this on Facebook Marketplace. But I like this machine, and I think I'm gonna keep this until companies come out with like a cable version of them. This machine has been a nice addition to my leg day, because before this, most of the leg exercises I had involved, you know, holding weight either on my back like a squat or holding weight in my hands with like a dumbbell or something, and those are fine. It just kind of gets a little boring, and it's harder to target the hamstrings when you don't gotta have a leg machine like this without going heavy. Like now I don't have to just do Romanian deadlifts or I don't know what other hamstring machines. I do want to start doing Nordic curls though. So maybe one of these days I'll figure out how to do a Nordic curl and I'll show you guys. I'll make a video on that. But this has been a game changer for my leg workout. I use it for my warm up. I use it just as additional exercises. And I'm so excited for the gains I'm going to get on my legs with this machine. Hey guys, future me here, because I realized that I forgot to talk about price. I got this used, so I didn't really think about it, but I checked Body Solid's website, and MSRP for a newer version of this is $750. I did check online, and it looks like there's a dealer that sells it for about $700 with free shipping. So the price for this machine, between $700 $750, around that price point. Overall, I really like this machine. The build quality is nice. It feels like a solid piece of equipment. The padding is not uncomfortable. You can adjust the position of these for the leg extension and the leg curl. You can put bands on here because of the plastic footings that they've got on there. This thing here to put the weights on is metal. It's not one of those plastic ones. It's got handles for both leg extension and leg curls to help you squeeze out those last reps. I'm really happy with this purchase, especially for the $200 that I paid for it. Body Solid, if you're out there, because I know you guys watch the videos, you guys did a really good job with this machine. Let me know if I missed anything, and if you have any questions, leave them in the comments below. By the way, YouTube thinks you'll like this video next.